Welcome everyone to the Nerd Nook. I'm your host, 17, with me like always is the man who I haven't seen since last year, Noah Bailey.
Last decade, technically. Wow. It's been so long. How you doing?
Yeah. And before we start, there are so many people who, like, when people try to say, you know, what happened last decade, top 20, whatever of last, top 10, whatever of last
Hmm.
decade, or like, what are you going to do this decade? Like, there are so many people who are like, actually, the decade doesn't end until 2020. A new decade starts 2021. Did you not learn anything in history class? Hey, first of all, shut up. Second of all, a decade is any amount of 10 years. So technically speaking, as long as you're doing stuff by the previous 10 years, you're still doing the decade. Third of all, the way you're describing it, it's as if to say the 90s were 91 to 2000, which is just false. There are so many people who try to be like, I love an actually, I do, but like, I'm right when I do it. So like, at least be right.
Right.
At least be right when you're actually somebody. Like I literally asked somebody one time who made a comment about this. So describe like what were the 90s? And they said 90 to 2000. I'm like, why? What? No, the 2000s are the 2000s. That's just
Exactly. That's
what
not the
you doing.
90s.
But whatever. So yes, the previous decade was 2010, 2019. Regardless, that's 10 years of previous decades. Anyway, happy new decade. Happy 2020.
Woo.
And probably definitely the biggest movie that came out at the end of the previous decade, Star Wars: Rise of Skywalker, came out. We're not going to review it quite yet. Um, I I need to see it again. I have a lot of feelings about it. Not all of them overly positive. Some positive, some not overly so. If I see it again, maybe it'll kind of,
Mhm.
I don't know, smooth that out a bit. I don't know. We'll see. But
You'll have a new perspective already
yeah,
knowing everything going
yeah,
in.
because like there were definitely
So like that's like that.
there were definitely uh some things that happened like at the time that like when they happened on screen, I was like, wait, did I dream that? Like, did that really just happen? Like, I'm just gonna say one thing. It's gonna be a spoiler, so if you haven't seen the movie somehow, then look away. But like, there's one thing real quick. When when Kylo Ren said to Rey, "You're a Palpatine," literally the guy in front of me in the row in front of me literally laughed out. He literally just started laughing. It's so stupid, but whatever. We're not talking about that right now. That just kind of sums up during the time of a while I was watching. That kind of sums up how my theater was feeling about it. But anyway, we're not going to be talking about Rise of Skywalker. We're going to be talking about something arguably more important and definitely better: The Mandalorian. Finally wrapped up. Yeah, and
Mandalorian theme plays in the
yeah, that's a
background.
very like Star Wars is just
Right?
killer with their music. Even if John Williams isn't doing it, like it's still really good.
So like, bruh.
So yeah, just general thoughts first.
The Mandalorian's where it's at,
It is.
dude. Where it's at, man. I mean, you know, it's really good because it kind of explores a little bit of everything. There's
Mhm.
enough references to older stuff, but there's enough stuff we don't know anything about, so it's really cool. And it's like, I don't know, it's just cool. And like, I for one, I'm a huge fan of like when shows have when the main character is like, oh, he's a mystery, we don't know about his past, or for this case, we don't even know what the guy looks like.
Mhm.
I love that joke. I always love that joke.
Yep.
So like it's really cool, and like a little like at the end of the last episode, a little spoiler, like when they do show his face, obviously like you know who the actor is, but at the
Yeah.
same time, it's like oh, I didn't want to see it. Like it kind of but like it's still like, and I like that he's like yes, he's awesome. He
Hmm.
kicks all the butt. He is that dude. He's a Mandalorian, but also he's not perfect.
Yes,
You see
yes, that's my
earlier when he's
favorite
trying to
thing about
ride.
him. Mhm.
Yes, like I mean, like obviously he's a Mandalorian, but like he's human.
Yeah,
So like
yeah, like he's not.
he does
He can't just. He's like a really good shot, and he's really good at what he does, but he's not. He can't take
good
down a
at everything.
Mudhorn by himself. He can't like take an
Right,
entire army of people just by himself. Like it's
right.
he has his
He
limits, just
has
like any person should. So,
right, and that's really cool because like you can still see growth from the character. You can
mm,
still see his ability, and by the end of the show, he is riding those things like it's nothing. Versus in the first, the first or second episode, he's getting like beat up half the time.
yeah,
And then it's just really cool to see
mm,
like that development in a
yeah,
character and how much that and I know it's only 8 episodes, but like man, there's a lot of development of
yeah.
that stuff.
It was
There's
a
a
very,
lot in
very
there,
good 8 episodes,
right? I'm
and the
like,
sequel's already
man,
confirmed. So like we're
exactly. Like there was
great.
no doubt. Like,
Yeah, yeah. From the very first episode, like you knew this was something special. Like it was.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, right off the bat, like the first episode always tries to get that scene that sells you, but like right off the bat, he walks into the cantina,
Hmm.
like four dudes, like it's nothing, just
Yeah.
casually sits down. Everyone's just like, "Hey,
Scorpion's a guy
Mando,
and
what's up?"
just
Yeah,
get over here and
dude.
then like cuts him in half. Like yes,
Basically,
and
like
yeah,
big time stuff.
I
Good.
just my my first impressions from watching the first couple episodes of the show was like, okay, it's gonna be a show where this guy is going around to various planets, taking different jobs, and throughout the process gaining more metal to like fix up his armor. At the end of the show, he's
Hmm.
gonna have a full set of armor and take on one final challenge. That show would have been good, but this is a
Hmm.
better show.
Right?
Like I love how they kind of set that expectation up. Okay, the first mission takes 2 episodes, and then in the third one he like brings back Baby Yoda, and then he immediately forges the entire suit of armor. I was like, oh, okay, I guess like a part of my brain was like, I hope Baby Yoda just kind of that was that mission and he moves on. A part of me was just like, I hope Baby Yoda doesn't show back up at least till later. But the fact that
Mm.
like he realized, oh, this guy, yes, he is a bounty hunter, but he's still a person. He obviously is like, I'm not gonna let them kill a baby.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Then
I like
yeah,
that. I like that about him too. Like I like that. Like he's not just well, I got my paycheck. Screw the last guy. Like he does have a heart. He's not just
yeah,
like yeah, he's a bounty hunter and he'll slit your throat in a minute,
mhm,
but only if like you're also a bad
yeah,
guy. Yeah, he's a fair mercenary. It's
exactly.
really good about that. And I like that in the character.
So yeah, I just this show. I know we kind of bag a lot on the newer Star Wars movies and not really feeling like Star Wars movies. Like The Last Jedi got there more
Mm-hmm.
so, but like uh Force Awakens, Solo, Rise of Skywalker definitely. They just don't really
Mm-hmm.
give off that essence that like something like episode 4 or 5 did. This show
Right.
nails it. It is so like even when the droids are walking around, or even like when they're introducing new species or new ships and stuff, like it just all has this weird vibe to it that is uniquely Star Wars, and I so appreciate that.
Yeah, and it's really good because it's like going in and like you're seeing some species some you don't know, and
Hmm.
just like how they interact and also just like how it kind of flows together, kind of just the vibe and kind of I don't know, it's a good feeling.
Oh yeah, and like there definitely
And the
were
music.
some 2 episodes kind of there. Like I think episode 5 and 6, like they of the Mandalorian, 5 and 6 of the Mandalorian, they just kind of felt a little filler-ish, but at the same time, like
Mhm.
they specifically thinking the one where he like got back with his old crew and did that job. Like
Yeah.
some people complain that it did feel fillery, and like I kind of get it, but you still get more perspective on who this guy was and like who he is now and like how he's dealing with all of this stuff
Yeah.
that's happened to him in his life. And it was, I feel it was necessary to really understand like this guy is now caring for Baby Yoda in the way he is, even though he used to live like this. I feel that was very necessary.
Yeah, and I like how it shows how much he's changed, even though we didn't necessarily see all of it before.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of can tell based on how the other people react to how different he is.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, "Oh, you used to do this and that. When do you started caring about that and
Mm-hmm.
that?" And
Yeah. Oh, and I am such a sucker for whenever a show um goes for a long time and then in like the last episode or two they like recruit people from the previous episodes, like
mm-hmm.
in the invasion episodes of Avatar and stuff like that, like you recognize all these people and like the characters know exactly what,
mm-hmm.
like the main character knows exactly what he's recruiting them for, and it was just like getting the I Have Spoken guy back and the droid and the woman, like it just, I was a sucker for that kind of stuff.
It's a good one, yeah. And I kind of got that vibe too, because I was like, okay, I was like, she's too good a character, and they're too invested to not get it. And like the droid in the first episode, I was like, okay, if
He's
they,
voiced by
because they
Taika
killed him
Waititi.
all,
He's coming back.
right? And I was like, yo, this character's way too cool not to be brought back. They gotta bring him back. Like, it's awesome. And I kind of like what they did with him, though.
Oh yeah, like he's a nursing droid, and I just
Yeah.
love the fact that like his standard protocol was protect this baby. So this droid's idea of protecting the baby was to pick him up, drive as fast as he can straight into a pack of stormtroopers, and not away from them, into them, and just shoot them all. Like,
Shoot him all.
sure,
I mean, to be fair, the baby was
right?
protected. No harm, in fact, came to the baby. So there's that.
Yeah, and just, oh, that climax is just, oh,
So epic.
so good. Oh, and
Like,
just literally, like, I don't know if, like, going into the show, I just had the expectation of, like I already said, a guy in a Mandalorian outfit taking an episode or two to do each mission and then kind of going on with life. But just
mm-hmm.
this show just blew every expectation I had just straight out of the water and then something. It was, oh, and then the very, very end, the stinger with the dark saber. Like, how? How did you get that?
I'm saying, man. See, and that's the stuff that keeps you around. And like, I like how at the end, like the jetpack is like, you'll need this. I was like, oh. I was like, I've been waiting for one of
Uh-huh.
those.
Literally
Like,
everything you could even like imagine the show doing, it just does.
yeah.
Like the dark saber originally was the Mandalorian blade used to kill a Jedi, and like
Mm-hmm.
in throughout the course of the show is kind of, or the Clone Wars, you kind of might even like forget that it's specifically a Mandalorian thing, and it's used some in Rebels too, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But like maybe you might not really associate with Mandalorians all that much by the end of it, but then when it shows up in the hands of the Empire at the end, like, oh yeah, that actually makes sense. Yeah, the Mandalorian show would have the dark saber in at some point. Yeah, okay. Sure.
It's like, I would very much like that. Yes, please. Oh man, it's just yeah, and it's just all the characters are like, I mean, they're all solid characters in their own right, and
Mm-hmm.
like Baby Yoda's a meme sensation,
Oh yeah.
and like everything's. I don't know, like I really like, and I love the droid. I like the like relationship he like with the guild, and like I
Mm-hmm.
forget the guy. What's the guy's name that's in charge of the guild or whatever?
Carl Weathers.
Yeah, yeah, sure,
Carl Weathers.
sure. But
Yeah.
I like how, and then like Empire's like, I think it's interesting though, because like the Empire at first is like done, and then all of a
Yeah,
sudden there's all these stormtroopers just show up, and I'm kind of
that's
like,
literally the only thing I'm not super psyched about is because they've
yeah,
established in the show the Empire is dead. It's been dead for like 4 years or something like that.
yeah, it's like 5 years I thought after like Jedi, so I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah. There's
so
all of
which
these stormtroopers with clean armor. Like this is new
right,
gear. And that seems a
like
little.
somebody still, yeah, somebody's still paying for this stuff,
Yeah,
like
like
it's been a
granted,
while, like this,
that's always something I feel Return of the Jedi never did a super great job at actually doing. Like, yes, the second Death Star did get destroyed. The Emperor died, but like that's not the end of it. Like,
it's like
there's
did he though?
okay, whatever.
Sorry,
He
spoilers.
he was in the trailer, so they didn't even explain it in the movies. I got really spoiling anything, but whatever. We'll get to that later. Um, okay. I really want to, but I'm not.
Just gonna wreck. I
Okay,
can see
I need to
it.
see it. I need to see it again.
Do you though?
I should. I really should.
I don't know.
Anyway, like yes, theoretically the major like the core of the empire is gone, but there's still some imperial loyalists, imperial officers are not going to back down. I think the battle of Jakku is considered the final battle of the empire. That was like a couple of years after Battle of Endor, so like I guess it's not super surprising, but it's still they could have explained it a little better of how exactly the Empire did and didn't exist at the same time. Like it's just they could have explained that a little better, but that's my one
Hmm.
slight complaint.
Fair enough. Yeah, and I feel like that's not on just the Mandalorian. I feel like that's on just Star Wars in general.
And I'm sure
So
there's
that's
some
not
expanded
really.
universe comic or whatever that's explained it, but probably not canon anymore.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's what I was like. I was like, whether it is or isn't canon at this point. But, it is what it is. But, like, at the same time, I think, yeah, like, other than that, like, the only things I'm kind of hoping, yeah, I don't know, this show does a good job of making me want to go back to stuff.
mhm.
So like that village that they protected that was very similar to like a Clone Wars episode
Yeah,
and like
yeah,
stuff like that. And like, yeah, I want to. I'm like, are they gonna go back there? Is he eventually gonna like the guild's gone, but then again the Empire's after the kid now. So are they gonna be able to settle down? Are they not? Like, how's this gonna go? Like, questions for later,
like
but also,
obviously the Mandalorian as a show isn't I don't think is going to really have any big effect on the overarching Skywalker saga or whatever, but like
right.
because there's not going to be some major episode where like, oh, the Mandalorian and his troop are the ones that actually finally put the nail in the coffin of the Empire. That's not going to happen. Like,
Fair enough.
but like, there's still plenty of room for like bigger spectacles to happen within the Star Wars universe, and
Hmm.
I'm also really appreciate the fact that like there was the Mandalorian and then that female shock trooper soldier person. There was never. I really. It would have been so easy to like have them have even like a hint of a romance, and they just didn't. I appreciate
Hmm.
that.
So casual, just like nah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
they
and maybe
make good, and they
they might down the road, but like right now, I appreciate how they're keeping it very platonic. So
yeah, and like they have a good like tough friendship kind of, if that
yeah,
makes sense. Yeah, I think that's really cool to have.
hmm yeah. I don't think I know she's staying on whatever desert planet number 6 is named, but like,
Basically,
but I'm pretty sure she's gonna be in at least one more episode down the line. So.
yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah, I like the idea of they kind of making like a squad. I don't know, like keeping like the team together. I'm not
Mhm.
sure if they will or not, but I kind of like that idea. I'm
Well,
not
I
really
mean,
too sure about the.
the only people of the team left are him and the woman
Oh, that's
because
right.
the droid died
Well,
and the guy died.
they
So
died.
and maybe Yoda's still
Yeah,
around,
that's
so I
right.
guess that makes three.
Yeah, Yeah, you're right. But anyway, yeah. But no, very excited for the next season.
Hmm.
More Baby Yoda. Maybe there will be like a. I don't know how. No, there won't. I was like, maybe it'll be Teen Yoda. I'm like, no, they age way too slow.
Yeah,
There's
it'll
no
take
way.
another 100+ years for that to
Right? I was like, they'll all be dead. There's no point.
happen.
But Baby Yoda. Hmm.
And just
Now, what do you?
I'll go.
God,
That's your
what do you think about Baby Yoda being force sensitive though? Is that kind of
every named character in Yoda's species is force sensitive throughout all of the comics and whatnot.
that is that's fair?
Like the only two that have ever been in the movies were Yoda and Yaddle, and they're both Jedi.
Both
So,
Jedi. So that answers that question.
and I think there are
Oh,
6 other named ones, and they're all at least force sensitive. So like it just
okay.
comes. I guess his race has high canon chlorians or whatever.
Ridiculous. Oh, goody. Yeah. Well, I'd be again. I guess so, man. I wish I had some midichlorians, but you know. But I guess so. Which I think it's kind of. I do think it's cool, and I do kind of like it. But it kind of sucks that he's only a baby, so like you won't be able to explore that much. I
Yeah,
don't think, but
yeah.
I think it'll be interesting.
I appreciate how relatively sparingly he used his powers. Like it,
Yes.
because my main issue with how they've developed force powers over the years is that, especially in the prequels, almost any given situation any Jedi is in, they should be able to get out just by doing this. Just push
Right.
him. Just run fast and push him.
No.
Or lift him up in the air.
Yeah.
Just throw him. Like
Yeah.
you should be able to get out of any situation. But
He's
because
got he's got the plans. Yup.
like, exactly.
There we go. Problem solved. You're welcome.
Yeah, but because Baby Yoda, passes out every time he uses a big force ability, you kind of get the sense that like, oh, the Mandalorian, he is in a legit trouble because the baby might forget to use it or doesn't know he should use it, or like,
Hmm.
or if he'll use it this once, then they're unsafe after that point. So like, it's a very nice balance of how to actually use
Yeah.
these force powers in a
Right.
believable way, which I appreciate.
Right. And it's also not like the whole like why does this even matter? You could just use the force the whole time. Kind of
Yeah,
like with Flash, it's like why is this important? You could just outrun everything.
exactly. Like my
Yeah.
brother and I rewatched episode 2 the other day, and Obi-Wan versus Django is the silliest fight in all of anything ever. Because literally, oh, like Obi-Wan's lightsaber gets knocked out of his hand, and he instantly just goes in for like a fist fight. Like, dude, just just he's shooting a missile at you. Just nope it back at him. Like it shouldn't be that hard. And like twice he jumps up and kicks him. Like you don't have to force him to you and punch him. Like it shouldn't be that hard.
You're making it way harder than it needs to be,
Like Kylo
man.
Ren can like stop a laser bolt, but you can't
Catch a
put the
missile
missile.
and
No,
get
no.
it. Come on, come on.
Yeah, I don't know. So I hope in the next season or two they like develop more of Baby Yoda's abilities, but kind of keep the realistic take they've been going with it. So yeah. Um, any final thoughts on Mandalorian?
Oh, great show. What am I think that's about it. I'm kind of excited to see how like the new stuff gets used in it, and also I'm kind of interested to see like what the new like goal is.
Yeah, yeah. Because obviously next his goal is to like either train or find where Baby Yoda comes from,
Right.
which I
It's
don't
just a
think.
way.
I think the 6 or so Yoda people that we've seen in Star Wars canon, I'm pretty sure like that's all we've ever seen. We've never actually seen Yoda's home planet.
Right.
So at some point, it will be very interesting to actually go to a Yoda planet,
That
if
would
that
be
makes like,
awesome. Well, does
yeah.
anyone know? Because they always say no one knows Yoda's origin because he's so old. So like,
Well, I I mean, I feel like is unlike with the Force as a concept, you never needed to explain how the Force exists. Like you don't need midi-chlorians and whatnot. But unlike with that, I feel Yoda's origin story is not really something that like if it's touched on, fans will be like, "Oh, you ruined Yoda." And like, oh, that I feel like that could be something if done well could be interesting.
Hmm.
So
Okay. All
even if there's
right.
not, even if they go to that planet and there's only six or so of them, I think that I think that would be fun.
Hmm. That'd be crazy though. Like, imagine like up on Earth, everyone lived to like 1,000. Like, we'd run out of life so fast.
Yeah,
Wouldn't that be
we
fun?
don't. Yeah, no.
Be like, Thanos,
We
where
live
are
exactly the
you?
amount of time that we need to live. Especially if we still like repopulate at the same rate, like it would be.
Exactly. Oh my, people having three, four, five kids. I'm like,
Mm,
dude,
no,
how dare you?
don't need that.
Don't do it.
Yeah, sticking on the Star Wars train for a little bit. Clone Wars season 7 is officially coming back on February 17th.
Woohoo!
I really, really hope they do a thing like they did with the Mandalorian, where they're not pigeonholed to like every episode has to be 22 minutes. Hope they can do like
Okay.
one's 30, this one's 42, this one's 28, this one's 34. Like they could mess
Kind of
around with the
whatever.
times a little depending on how much is in each episode. I hope they
Yeah.
do that.
Because I know Clone Wars standard is like 22 minutes, but I think they had the freedom to, especially now since it's on the streaming service to
Hmm.
do whatever. But like, I don't know. I don't see them really breaking that mold though, just because they've done it for so long.
Yeah, yeah. Like I don't think it'll happen, but like especially since it is coming once per week, it works so well for the Mandalorian to have just let the episode breathe for how long it for however long it needs to just
Hmm.
go. It would be nice, but I'm regardless. 22 minutes of a Clone Wars episode is 22 more than we got a year ago. So like I'm fine with it. Like I'm not complaining that we're only getting 22 minutes. It'd just be cool if every
We
episode would
could
be as
get
long as it needs to be.
potentially more
Yeah,
or less. Yeah. But either way, I will be excited because, any Clone Wars
better than
is
no
better
Clone.
than no Clone Wars.
Mm, yeah,
And
like
it's
even
done
if we
by
already
us.
know basically everything that's going to happen in the season because the leaked and like the lost episodes or whatever, like or the
Yeah.
unfinished episodes, it's still going to be cool to actually see them in action, see what else they
Yes.
actually see. Maul versus uh, uh, Ahsoka,
Yeah.
Boba versus Cad Bane duel. Like these are going to be some good episodes.
Right. It's gonna be awesome, and like I love the series. I love the characters and how like the character interactions alone between like Anakin and Obi-Wan are gold. Like,
Hmm.
I'm watching this show with my brother, and my brother's really like, why aren't they like this in the movie? They're hilarious, and I'm like, I don't know, man.
I don't know.
I don't know.
They were like kind of almost there in episode 3, at least
Right?
more jovial than they were in episode 2. But like
Right? But even in episode 3, it was only for like the first quarter of the movie, because then they spend the rest of the movie
both,
either apart or trying to kill each other.
both movies, they thought it was a good idea to have them separated. Like this was episode 2 was your chance to have them together for the first time as master and apprentice. They're together for
Ever.
10 minutes with the most boring chase scene of ever. And then just, whoop, Anakin, you're over here, Obi-Wan, you're over here, and then they're not together until the very end when they both get their butt kicked. Like,
Right? Let's finally show them how good a team we are. No, I'm gonna do this myself. Yes, gets force destroyed. Well, that didn't last long. Great going, kid. Oh yeah,
yeah.
but no, Clone. I'm so excited, and it's just like one thing when things are coming back, but like when it comes back, the same people, the same writers, same voices, like everything's coming back, and it's picking
Mm-hmm.
up right where it left off, and it's I don't know. This is something this used to not happen with shows.
Yeah.
Like, this used to, like, when a show was over, it was over.
Over.
Too bad. You can do whatever you want on change.org or sign your petition. Doesn't matter. It's over. No
uh,
one cares. But now shows are like they're listening to fans now. I don't know.
mm,
What a time, man.
yeah.
What a time.
Still waiting for that Teen Titans reboot that I thought was confirmed
Oh,
a year ago. but apparently
Right?
not.
Right? That's
Or
what I'm
someone
saying.
forgot about that, or that it was actually was an April Fool's joke, and it was I don't know. I don't know what happened with that
But
one.
it wasn't even April 1st, was it?
It was like the 2 days before April first, which maybe it's like a Black Friday
No.
situation where April Fool's jokes are happening like we're like being pushed back a couple days. It shouldn't
No.
happen. It shouldn't happen, but
How
maybe
dare
it is.
they? No, it's coming back. Isn't that supposed to be this year, or was that
It
supposed
was
to be
supposed
last
to
year?
be. It was supposed to happen sometime last summer, I think, but it didn't.
Oof. I, don't,
'Cause
I know there
I
was
remember
that.
reporting on it in April 2018. I think it was April 20. It was either April
Okay,
2018 or 19, and then either way,
I
we should
think
have
so.
heard something about it by now.
Right, because didn't we do like a top 10 list of things we're excited for this year? And that was on my list.
That was on that list, wasn't it? I
What
think it was.
the heck? I'm in 23, like, wait a minute, we missed out on some coolness.
Like Young Justice was cool, but Teen Titans is
This is
something that
true.
just kind of like Teen Titans season 3 is very sorry. Young Justice season 3 is very good. Have you
This
seen
is
it?
true. Yes.
Yeah, it is very good. But Teen Titans just has this feel. There's just the art style I appreciate a little better, but like
It's its
yeah, it's
own
all
thing.
nostalgia. It's nostalgia, but like it's still a very
Right?
good show.
Nostalgia. But you know what? I'm totally justified in thinking my nostalgia is better than anything that's ever existed, ever, period. Literally everyone,
Mm,
everything. But no, like,
yeah,
I don't there now there was this like Teen Titans versus Teen Titans Go movie, which
that did
had
happen.
the original Teen Titans in it, which
Yeah,
I get it, but I was not looking
not watching
forward.
that. So.
No, like granted, I did watch it. It was not that bad,
Wasn't okay.
but that's not what I wanted.
You're
I
not
wanted
looking for something that's not that bad. You're looking for something that's Teen Titans.
awesome. And it's what I think it is, and it picks up hopefully where it left off, so I actually
Mhm.
understand what the last episode actually means. Because no one gets it still.
Yep.
None of it makes any sense,
I don't know. I don't know how that even happened. Like,
right?
how do you start season 6 with but then don't make more episodes? Like, how did that happen?
Right? And of course, it was a
Yeah,
cliffhanger
because
of all things.
I think the last episode of season 5 is called the end or whatever, something final like that,
Yeah,
and they just made another one without a plan to make a 13 more. Like, how does that? How do you?
how does one? I mean, I guess they just assumed, hey, this show is awesome. It'll get renewed. Don't worry, guys. Let's go ahead and make it.
We already made our climax, so let's just
Just keep going.
keep going. I guess.
Keep going. Are you sure? Yeah, it'll be fine. Cartoon Network will bring us back. Come on, guys, for their best show.
Probably not. Probably that Johnny Test deserved 6 more seasons.
No, to be fair, Johnny Test isn't terrible, but it's not
It kind of
on the
was.
same
Have you seen it
level.
recently? It's kind of bad.
I have not seen it recently. I've seen some
It's bad.
episodes back in the day that make me laugh, though.
It was
Oh
kind of
man,
funny at times, but it was
yeah, it's weird. But they changed the voices for some of the characters, and that
true.
throws me. Like anytime they do that, because I
Hmm.
don't know if you watched Arthur growing up,
Oh, I
like the
hate the
show
new
on
voice
TV.
for Arthur. Yeah,
Oh, dude,
yeah.
I can't. The new voices, DW's new voice makes me want to like
Uh,
scream. I
yep.
can't deal with
I
it.
remember
It
being a
hurts
kid
my
and like
soul.
with like because when you're a kid, you don't get the concept of seasons. Like
Right?
episodes just the reruns are essentially new episodes to you. Like you don't realize they're old episodes. Like so to
Right.
you on Monday, it's a new episode. It's a rerun, and then the very next day, Arthur has this new voice, and like, what, why is he different now? Why is he sound different? Then he's just
Yeah.
that voice
What
from now. You
changed?
were you
Yeah.
were
No.
you were not that one episode ago. Like how did
No. It's so weird. And like they'll have new character. And like there's a new character that's from like the South, which I think is hilarious.
you?
And then there's like
Yeah, I don't mind when like they add random new characters to try to keep to spice things up and whatnot. But like
yeah.
usually they're not very good. I don't know.
No, they're not. It's really funny.
Yeah.
Oh, she's basically Sandy Cheeks, but like not. But it's really funny because it's
Is
like
she a
they don't even
squirrel?
say. I don't think they even say what. Huh?
Is she a squirrel?
She's not a squirrel. She's a. She's I. I almost said she's a person. I forget they're animals half the time. I swear.
Because I was just putting the pieces together. Like he's an aardvark. His best friend's a rabbit.
I literally was like, no, she's white, and then I was like, wait a
Wait a minute.
something's not. I think she's also a bunny. I don't remember. I saw the
Okay.
episode for like 5 minutes,
Okay.
but like it's just funny because it's like I don't think they even said where she's from. She's like, "Oh, where are you from?" "Oh, I'm just from the South," like with the most blatant country accent you've ever heard in your life.
There's
So it's
no
really
indication of where
funny.
Arthur is actually located, but south of that, whatever that is, south of
Right.
that.
So you know, yeah. So you know, wherever they are, they're at least at like like Ohio, probably. Like they're not the Mason Dixon line somewhere. They're
Uh,
not. Oh man.
yep.
But no, it's just so weird. And like I love when shows keep that consistent. Like the last time I was Clone Wars, like when you keep all the same voice, because like if it was the same show, but then they're like, oh, but we had to recast Ahsoka's voice. I'm like, oh,
I don't know. Yeah, that's why I appreciate with Young Justice. Literally, that show was consistent of five people: Troy Baker,
right?
Nolan North, Grey Delisle, Tara Strong. They voice everybody.
They was pretty much. It's
And like the
great
guy who
because
voices Wally West, like he voices like everyone who they don't like. It's just literally
right,
five people.
and it's great because you don't like you're not watching the show. You're not like, oh, there's Troy. Like like it's organized enough that you don't like glaringly see it unless you like go in knowing that.
Yeah, but then you watch the
Which
credits and it's like Troy Baker, 17 people, Grey
yes,
Delisle, every woman in the entire show.
every woman basically, yeah. Like it's great though, just because you can keep that consistency. You
Mhm.
can like you don't have to worry about hey, this character sounds off. Especially when I do it with minor characters. It's
Yeah,
like what even like it just bothers me either way. But when they do it with major characters, you're like I can't even watch the show. But
yeah.
even minor characters that like messes with me.
Mhm.
But no, it's just crazy because like they're keeping the same characters, they're keeping the same writer, so it's not crap now. Everything's on pace, and it's just the people saying, "Okay, we have more time, we have more
Mhm.
episodes now.
Yeah,
Let's keep going," and that's
especially
awesome,
since Dave Filoni just came off of making The Mandalorian perfect.
right?
Going back to Clone Wars, but she has a huge passion for, like he wants to write for again. Like it is, oh
He's on fire, and he's like, "Yes, I will go back and make Clone Wars." And I'm like, "Can we make like I know the Clone Wars as like a story arc in the whole is supposed to end, but can we just keep going?" Like I won't say anything if
yeah,
you won't.
yeah.
Like I don't mind.
Just, I mean, you could just kind of. There's like 5 years, I think. Is that how long the Clone Wars lasts?
I think it's 3 years
Three.
between one, two, and three. That's what I've heard. I
Because
think
I
it's
know
three
Anakin
years.
is 19 at the end of episode two. Is he only 22 by the end of episode three?
I think so.
That's
I
dumb, but
think
whatever.
that's.
That seems too old.
Hey man, don't blame me. Blame George. Hold on.
I
How
mean,
long?
George decided to have Obi-Wan be
One
only
hour and
30,
38. 1 hour and 38 minutes. No,
not the
not
movie.
the not the movie.
George decided to have
Oh,
Obi-Wan be like 35 at the end of episode three, maybe
right?
35 max, and then
See.
somehow be 73 by the end of by episode
Yeah,
four.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how that worked. I'm sure they'll find a way to figure that out in the Clone and on the Obi-Wan series or
Yeah,
whatever. But yeah, but 3 years Clone Wars
only 3 years.
apparently.
That's dumb. But okay.
Only 3 years. Yeah, hey man, I don't know because somehow they fit. They're going on 7 seasons in 3 years. So
I
again, I
mean,
know it's not.
yeah, yeah.
I
Also,
mean, chronologically, the show already doesn't make sense. So
you're
there's
right.
that.
You're right.
But
And
it'll
apparently,
be fine.
no one in Star Wars canon knows how to count because there's actually a book. Might have already told you this, but I'm telling you again. There's a book. It's like Clone Wars anthology, and somewhere in that book it says that there were only 1.5 million clones produced throughout that entire time period, which is
Nope.
really literally only taking the 200,000 already made and a million more well on the way from episode 2 and just bumping that up a little bit.
Yeah, there's no way that's it on the
Like
literal
maybe
thousands of planets.
maybe they could have like had other recruits that also like volunteered or were drafted and just wore clone outfits on into battle. Maybe that happened.
No.
Maybe they were also voiced by D. Bradley Baker. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, they're all the same poison.
But like it, there are, like you said, there are thousands of planets and billions of droids. Like these things are so mass
Right?
produced. Yes,
Right. And that's their thing.
one clone is about 10 droids or whatever, but like that doesn't add up.
No.
1.5 million. That
No, that's not enough. I mean, to literally, because there's literally 10,000 Jedi Knights.
yeah.
And like each Jedi has their own like section of the army pretty much. Like
Hmm.
not counting like Padawans and stuff, but
Yeah.
like like they've got more than like two guys following them around
Hmm.
usually.
Yeah,
So like that's at least hundreds.
and you have
They've got
troops that are specifically for ground troops. You have
mm-hmm.
troops that specifically do air combat, space
Yeah,
combat. Like only
right.
clones man these huge ships,
That's what
which
I'm
they
saying.
got
Like you
from
have
nowhere. Which
clones.
I'm always confused where
That's
they
what
got
I'm
the
saying.
ships from. But
Right. You have clones who specifically are only in like the ships, like flying the ship or shooting things in the ship.
yeah,
Like they're not even fighting, but they're still clones. So that's a whole another section
like it
right
takes
there.
almost 30 people to man one like pirate ship.
At
It takes
least.
over 100 people to man one of these huge
Man,
vessels.
like a starship,
A
absolutely. Yeah.
couple of
There's like
hundred
this
at
like
least. Like you,
that's what I'm saying. And there's so many of these things.
yeah.
Like there's not
Like
like five.
there has my problem with that 1.5 million number is that what that number is so small to me that you can't just have in any given episode of Clone Wars. If ever there's 3 Republic cruisers flying in, one of them is always collateral. There's always like one that
Yeah.
gets destroyed.
Yep. Yep.
You can't just
Every
have
time.
hundreds of clones die every single episode and just pretend like 1.5
Yeah.
million is enough.
Like that is not like that's gonna last you maybe the first like 5 episodes. I don't know with Malevolence that might maybe not even that
Oh, I forgot
long.
about that. That destroyed like
That
20
thing
ships.
wrecked
Though.
like
Yeah,
not like that thing wrecked like legions, bro.
yeah,
Like it was like nothing. Thing was a
yeah.
ship killer. Oh my gosh.
So yeah, so maybe it was only 3 years, but I feel like
There was more than 1.5 clones
I
or
don't know.
1.5 million. It's like
But
way more, hopefully. Like there's
yeah,
like no way you
maybe
can
a lot of people from Coruscant got drafted. I don't know.
whatever. Even if they did, they still need more than that. Gosh.
um,
Yeah. Especially how many clones got wasted in this show. Like
yeah,
clones get wrecked in this
yeah,
show
like remember all of
constantly.
the people that went on to Umbara and just got wrecked by Krull? Like you can't
Yes.
just have
Or like, I mean, literally, like that whole thing was half of them killed each other because he
yeah,
ordered them on each other. The other half got wrecked by this dude who's just going ape on everybody, if not like blown
there
up
was
by
like
the planet or
five.
like
There
eaten
was like
by something
five
on
clones
the
left.
planet. Like half the time in Clone Wars, there's something on the planet that just eats people, or like it just grabs somebody. Like I'm like,
Yep.
bro, what is that, man? You're not doing that. And like nobody reacts. That's the thing that's crazy. Like people are like, oh, that sucks, but like, how do you not react? Your dude just got like gone. Like you don't even know what happened to him, man.
Exactly.
Like that's or like I think the craziest one for me was the one where they're doing like the Geonosis, like after the Geonosis war thing. They're like in the case with the zombies or whatever.
Right.
One dude just gets grabbed and you just never see that dude again.
He's probably a zombie.
I'm just
Like
like I'm just like, bruh, like how are you not like I'm not going to war after that dude. That's like 30 years of counseling and then I die. Like I can't do that. Oh man. But anyway, too weird. Anyway, but yeah,
anyway, yeah. So I'm pretty sure they confirmed that Clone Wars is gonna be one episode every week,
yeah,
meaning it's gonna. I think they said like 13 episodes, so it's gonna end in like May. I think.
Probably
Because
math.
that's
It's February 17th.
my math right.
One, two, three, and four, and five, and six, and seven, and eight, and nine, and 10, 12, 13. We are in, yeah, May 18th. Look
Wow.
at you. That was impressive.
Huh. So yeah, we pretty much the first half of this year is just gonna be Clone Wars. So
Yeah,
cool.
I am okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
Oh,
it. Yeah, I think it is good.
one quick thing I forgot to mention about the Mandalorian. I
Hmm.
feel like it came out at a perfect time. Like I feel they
Yeah.
literally launched Disney Plus at that time to have the Mandalorian release at the time it did because the way they had it scheduled out, they had episode 7 of the Mandalorian come out right before I think it was the Tuesday before Rise of Skywalker came out, and that was the
Hmm.
episode that Baby Yoda healed Carl Weathers with. Meaning, you can't argue that Rey shouldn't have that power in in Rise of Skywalker because Yoda already did it, or Baby Yoda already did it. And then the very
It's
next,
canon.
the very next week, what after Rise of Skywalker was the last episode, which is the best one. So
Hmm.
essentially, the way they scheduled it out, on either side of Rise of Skywalker is like some of their best episodes, meaning that if you liked Rise of Skywalker, oh, here's more Mandalorian. If you didn't like Rise of Skywalker, I didn't like this, but at least I'm looking forward to the Mandalorian. Like you're always there's something Star Wars for you to like within that time period, and it was
Hmm.
I thought it was on that all the while having Jedi Fallen Order, which is actually a very good video game. Thanks EA for that one.
Yep.
Didn't think you'd be saying that anytime soon. Thanks. Um, yeah, I just oh that show was perfect. Anyway, and now that like if you didn't like Rise of Skywalker but you liked Mandalorian, because you're not going to not like Mandalorian, that's just impossible.
Right? At most, you can be neutral, but you
Yeah,
can't be like, this is bad.
you're like, oh crap! Now I have only have to wait a month or two for the next Star Wars thing to kind of wash my mouth out of Rise
Hmm.
of Skywalker or
Yep.
whatever. If you didn't like it, um, so I just feel they're pacing these shows out very nicely. Yeah. Um,
So much. Clone Wars
couple
and
more Star Wars
Mandalorian.
stuff actually. They were on a tear this week. Star Wars Rebels was a show I'm not super hot on, but I'm okay with people actually liking it. Whatever. Star Wars Rebels, there's a sequel series in the works.
Wait,
So
a sequel series to a sequel series? That's wild. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
okay.
Do we know what it's called?
Nope,
Do we know anything yet?
nope.
Okay.
There's no
So a
Rebels
sequel.
sequel series. And like
Okay. So a.
my biggest issue with Rebels is as you're watching, as you're like, I think Rebels came out 2 years after Clone Wars ended or something like that,
Something like
or
that.
like maybe like it was long enough where you kind of might if you especially if you didn't watch the ones on Netflix. If you just watch the ones on TV and like a year or two later, you hadn't seen anything for the Clone Wars, now you're watching Rebels. At the time, Rebels maybe looked like how you remembered Clone Wars looking. Like character
Hmm.
models, etc., look kind of like that. But then if you watch Rebels and then watch Clone Wars right after, Clone Wars looks like a better show. Like
Hmm.
visually, it looks better. Like people are proportioned better. Every single stormtrooper in Rebels, their helmets are too big.
Yes, and like everyone looks bubbly, and like
Yeah,
not like bubbly, but like they look like
they
physically like
look like
bubbles.
Muppets.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
which is weird. And
Yeah.
like
Like
not
they don't.
necessarily out of character for Star Wars stuff to look like Muppets because of Yoda and whatnot, but like still, these are supposed to be people. So also the lightsabers are like
Super thin.
toothpicks. It was based on some weird comic that the guy who the creative control. I don't think Dave Filoni needed that. I'm not sure though, but like someone on that team was like, I want to do that style, even though this is a direct sequel show to Clone Wars, which didn't have that saber style, but whatever. Because characters from that show even showed up with the same saber, but it's different shape. But
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't know. Yeah, I
Sure.
don't know. I never got into Rebels, but like I remember, like at first I was just like, no, I'm not getting into this show. And then they would start to add stuff, be like, are you sure you don't want to start watching? Because then it's like, oh, Darth Vader shows up. I'm like, okay, all right, that's kind of cool. Oh, Ahsoka's in it. Oh, okay. But then the characters disappear,
Yeah,
and then it goes back to the original. And it's
and
like,
like
oh, I see what you're
I,
trying to do there.
I can't help but feel like the scene between Ahsoka and Vader has no weight to it because of how he became Vader in Episode 3. Like if because there was no the transition of him from being Anakin to Vader
Mhm.
was so
Abrupt.
yeah abrupt and soft, I guess, that like you don't get the sense in Episode 3 that he's really a different person until he actually puts on the mask and has a different voice entirely. Like that's I
Hmm.
guess he's actually Darth Vader now. But like you don't get the sense that like this guy has been altered by the dark side so much that he wouldn't even remember Ahsoka.
Right.
There was nothing that happened in Episode 3 that like changed him really mentally.
I don't know, man. Kill some kids. All of a
But
sudden,
why?
things start looking
Why did he
different.
kill? Like, why did that happen? Like, he just
Because
started.
dark side.
Well, even after that point, I don't know. It just doesn't really.
Yeah, no, it makes no sense. Trust
And
me.
also, like all these people are like, you can say what you want about the Clone Wars, but this scene was epic. The Ahsoka versus Vader fight scene. And I'm sorry, the thin lightsabers just have the scene have no weight to me. Like, yes, the lightsaber fights in the original Clone Wars series, special like season 1 through 3, where they could be kind of stiff at times because you're
Mhm.
not very fluid. But by the time season 5 it's probably
Oh,
spot on.
dude, dude,
But it's
some
almost
of
like
those seasons.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Like obviously the Mullins and the Vaughn Savage press versus Sidious is
Right.
just the best. Which I so wish Sidious like I don't know. Part of me kind of wishes the Sidious had a lightsaber in episode 9, but like whatever, it would have been cool.
Yeah.
Um, but it almost seemed like they regressed the way they did lightsaber combat from in Rebels to like season 1. It's again just so stiff for whatever
Clunky
reason. But
and like feels more samurai like than like from like I feel like
which
Ahsoka's the only person in Rebels who actually like uses it like a regular lightsaber.
yeah,
Everyone else is kind of like,
and
yeah, yeah, and like
mm,
I guess part of that could be due to just everyone else sucking. But when Darth Vader, which I know Darth Vader's thing is like clunky and calculated because he's Darth
yeah,
Vader, but like,
separate. Well, kind of like that in Rogue One, but like he was still relatively
like,
subdued with how he
still
yeah.
fast, like,
But he wasn't like doing flips and spin tricks and whatnot. It's just
yeah,
yeah. So yeah, like it was Vader's and Obi-Wan's thing in Episode 4 to the original trilogy to be more like samurai slash fencing.
yeah, yeah. I think that's what they were going for,
It just that looked weird, knowing what Ahsoka can do, also fighting
right?
like that. Like it doesn't fit right, but whatever, it's fine. I'm definitely happy for the people who like that show that is getting a sequel. Like I think that's great. If Clone
Yeah.
Wars is getting a sequel, why not Rebels too? Sure.
Or we could just make more Clone Wars.
Or we could just make more. Even have like anthology episodes just happening like intermittently throughout the 3 years.
Yeah.
Like sure, why not? Like kind of like
I
the
honestly,
season 6, like the one that came to Netflix that season. Like it was just
yeah,
kind of that. Like just do more of that. Sure.
yeah. Honestly, I'd be okay if they made like an animated, just redo. Like if they take the same thing, just redo like the prequels, but just in that animation.
Oh, you know
Make
I'd
the,
be
make
down
the,
for that.
I know, keep the characters the same. Actually, make Anakin interesting and like make you care.
Yeah, have the same voice actor from Clone Wars and just do yeah.
Yes, it'd be
Also
so good.
have please Disney add the 2003 Clone Wars series to Disney Plus. I want somewhere to
What?
conveniently watch it. It's not on there.
Yeah, that that's true. That might be some rights with Cartoon Network for all we know.
Oh,
They might be holding
probably.
on to that for dear rights. You know
Almost
them.
definitely. Some yeah, because they Yeah, because Star Wars rights are already bonkers, so like not surprised because like they don't have the rights to stream the theatrical cut of Episode 4. Only Episode 4. They can do what they want with Episode 5 and 6, but only Episode 4. Fox has the exclusive distribution rights for the original theatrical cut of Episode 4. Even though Disney now owns Fox, they still can't do it. Figure that one out.
How?
I don't know. I have
It's
no
not my
idea how this.
property. You, it's like you own Fox. Yep.
Yep,
And Fox has the right to this. Yeah. So by extension, you have this. Yeah.
makes
So then
sense to
use it.
me.
It's not my property.
Fine.
Like, oh, what? There's so many
Okay.
memes like that we can make about
Yeah.
Disney.
Okay. One more Star Wars thing.
Okay.
Apparently, the next major Star Wars series of movies, not necessarily trilogy, but series of movies, will be set in the High Republic, 400 years before Episode 1.
Ooh.
Not necessarily
Now
the
the
Old
High
Republic movie I
Republic.
want, but like,
That's what I'm saying. Like in the right direction, but see, I hear High Republic. I'm like,
like
this is not a
Yoda is kind of like just starting out as a Jedi.
okay. So maybe this is like a Yoda anthology, or
Maybe.
maybe I don't know. This could be interesting.
Like, I think they say that the Sith have been extinct for 1,000 years. So like they'll have to have some other. There's going to be some. They're not going. When one of these movies, there's going to be some kind of dark side user in there somewhere. But like,
That's not
they,
going to be the main
yeah,
focused antagonist.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know a lot about that general area, but they could do. I'm pretty sure they could figure stuff out for that.
Mm-hmm.
The Jedi are the height of their power. Like you know, they could delve more into like maybe that could be kind of the start of their like Buddhist corruption and like they're kind of being set in their ways and like they could kind of expand on ideas they should have expanded on episode 1 and 2 but they just kind of didn't. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Kind of the start of that downfall of them. So yeah, it's not
Yeah, I
necessarily
mean that could be
the episode 0 or the Old Republic movies that we want, but like more Star Wars. At least they're not looking at Rise of Skywalker and being like, oh, that didn't do as well as we hoped. So, gonna break a billion, but it didn't do as well as they would have liked.
yeah.
We're just gonna
Yeah.
stop Star Wars stuff.
Okay. At least they're not like, all right, episode 10. Like, here we go. Just like, oh, man. There's
Not yet.
so many people did not ask for that. I don't. I kind of want them to stop, like, adding on to I kind of just want them to, like, make movies around the framework, you know?
Yeah. Don't
There's so
do,
much.
yeah, like if they are gonna do a 10, 11, 12, I don't want them to, but if they did, wait at least 10 years.
Right.
Have
Give it some
time for Rey to
time.
be more of a legacy character, have her more like, you know, whatever she does with the new Jedi or Skywalker Order, whatever they want to call it, like have
Yeah.
more time for that world to be developed, not just rush it.
Right?
Have like a
You
new
know?
main character of the time.
Exactly. Maybe Push Broom Guy or
Yeah,
some other.
sure,
Yeah.
Broom Guy.
We never, they
Not that
never
I
came
expect
back
him
to
to
that.
actually be in this movie, but like it wouldn't kind
No, but who knows? He could be like, I am a Jedi, or maybe I'm the dark side. Like, who knows? He could have been the Sith the whole time. We don't know.
I don't know.
Like, we don't know. Still don't understand that. But yeah, it could be. But yeah, I like just make movies to fill in the cracks, especially around characters. 'Cause I
Mm-hmm.
think that's kind of the thing, because like especially like I know like they're making like a series for Obi-Wan, which honestly I do think is better than just a movie because I feel like it's not. I feel like a series always does a better job of fleshing out character development and like
Yeah,
getting ideas and coming. You can't come back to stuff as much if you're making a standalone movie.
yeah. So them
Like
already establishing it's not going to be one movie, it's going to be at least two or three. Like
yeah, this would
that's,
be good.
I think that's the
But
right direction. Not, and
yeah,
Kathleen Kennedy actually said like the future of Star Wars is not trilogies, which I think that's the right mindset to have. Like
yeah, I
you
think
have your
that's
trilogy
enough.
of trilogies, but don't lock yourself into the idea of you have to wrap it up in 3 movies. They, in my humble opinion, they probably should have. They easily could have split episode 9 into 2 movies. They easily
Oh,
could have,
please.
like, it. I mean, there are many things they could have done to make that movie better, but like that was one of them.
I feel like they could have like maybe added more to the beginning and then like stop episode 9 at the middle
Yeah,
and then kind of go from because man,
there's a lot. There's just a lot in
there's
that movie.
there was a lot. I would
Yeah, and I feel that they needed. I felt like it was too long and not long enough at the same time.
yeah,
It's a
like
weird
there was
movie. I don't understand
there's
it.
so much going on and yet I know nothing.
Yeah, even for
Like
the opening shots, I'm just like a pinball rolling around. Like,
I'm
where are
literally
we? What is happening?
like I'm literally looking at the screen. I was like, wait, really? Wait, okay, we're just going with
Okay,
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 like
okay.
okay. It's like no, you
There's some
killed
cool
me.
stuff happening. I wish we could stay here a little bit longer and actually see that. No, okay, we're gone.
No, oh, we're gone. Okay,
Yeah.
well, no. It's like oh, you're kidding.
Not like I wanted to see, Kylo Ren cutting down those Darth Vader cultists or whatever. That'd have been
That
fun to see.
sounds
No,
totally. Not that that's totally awesome. And like,
got it for
was the
30
thing in
seconds.
the
Yeah, we're done. Okay,
it's the only part we saw was the part we already saw in the trailer. I didn't
perfect.
really,
Thank you,
no,
Jay.
I
Anyway,
saw that already.
we'll get to that. We'll get to that in like.
Sorry,
No, no, I
sorry.
brought it up. It's fine.
So many feelings.
I
It's a
yeah, maybe if
lot.
I see it a second time, it'll make more sense. But maybe it
Maybe.
won't.
I was about to say that is possible, but also
um, so yeah, finally moving on to Marvel stuff. There's actually
okay.
quite a bit of Marvel stuff to cover. Uh, so first, in-game has officially somehow it was still like somehow still playing in some theaters in China. It officially ended its run at $2.8 billion. So
Woo!
good. Uh, which it baffles me that it made 2 billion in like 10 days and then just didn't make any more for like six
Because
months
everyone saw
and
it.
saw it again and then they just
That's what I was saying. Like once everyone saw it, like more than once, it was kind of just like statistically, like you can't
yeah.
unless everyone's like, all right, it's the weekend again, back to the theater.
Mm.
Like,
Yeah, so yeah, congrats for being the first $2.8 billion movie. Might be the first, but you're not probably not gonna be the last. I have a feeling there's gonna be well, I don't know what movie it could be in the future, but like I have a feeling something Disney, obviously, because they own everything, but like
oh yeah, but you'd have to build it up though, because I think that's the secret to why these movies have done so well
yeah,
because all the continuity and build up, all the stuff. Like you can't
yeah.
just make a movie stand alone make that much money. It's not gonna
Like
happen.
I'm sure Disney was hoping Rise of Skywalker would push 2 bill. Should have made a better movie to help that, but you know what? It's fine.
That does usually help.
Yeah, I mean it doesn't always mean good movies make money. Look at the Transformers movies, all of them being over $1 billion because of course they did, but
All of them?
all but Bumblebee because the best one can't make the most.
Wait. You telling me
I think
every
the
Transformer?
first two might have only did like 800 mil. Then everything past three did bonkers in China.
What?
Yeah,
Seriously?
even the fifth one,
That one doesn't even make any
it
sense.
doesn't. You're right. Well, even the fifth one bombed here, but made over $1 billion in China. Like it is
Are you
crazy.
serious?
Well, it helps that Tencent, the like essentially Disney of China, help promote it. Like they like help produce and whatnot. So like, sure,
Yo,
whatever.
that is wild. I didn't realize that. Oh
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, so that yeah, okay, so money means nothing.
Mm.
So there's that. But
Really, China is the thing you need to be worried. Like apparently, Rise of
yeah.
Skywalker kind of bombed in China. Like it didn't do as well as they hoped it would. That's why they're
Uh,
not at $1 billion yet. So,
they'll where are they? Like
and they're at
800?
918 right now.
Okay, they'll make it.
They'll
They'll
make
make
it. Yeah,
it.
because no movie can make
But
nine. No new movie can make 900. We already established this. It's not
literally not
possible.
possible. It's either over or under. They're gonna fudge the numbers or
Maybe
something.
899 or $1 bill. Like you're gonna
Sure.
be you're gonna be like what's the word? suspiciously at just 1.0000 billion.
Like it looks very much rounded up there. What do you mean? No idea what you're talking about.
So next, there's a heavy rumor that Disney now has official control over the rights to Hulk and Namor.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, which I didn't know
Which,
Namor was off the table. I thought that was just something they just hadn't used yet. But
but
cool,
now
I
Black
can.
Panther 2.
Yeah,
Just saying. Either that or Doctor Doom. I know there's still like speculation of either or, but I'm like, why
Namor
not
is
both?
like kind of an anti-hero. Like he's a hero sometimes, but villain other times.
Kind of just his own thing, I think.
Okay,
Just kind of like whatever's best for Atlantis, in my understanding. So like
okay,
sometimes that's like, yeah, the world's gonna die. So yeah, I'm in. But also like, nah.
okay, sure.
So this should be interesting.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't think we need another Hulk movie. I just don't think. I think
No.
I think there's definitely more you could do with that character. But unless it's like a World War Hulk movie, I don't think there's much more you can really
No.
do with the character.
Because like if there was a movie, like it would have been before Endgame with this Professor Hulk thing. Which I mean, they could do that, I
Yeah, they could
guess, like
still do
kind
it.
of a Black Widow thing, just kind of make it a
Yeah,
prequel
if there was a
movie.
5 year
But
gap, you could make a movie within that time period showing him.
right, which and originally that's what I thought they were gonna do. Like there's a 5 year gap. I'm like, okay, they're just gonna fill that gap with movies now.
They could
But I mean,
easily
they
could do
still
that.
can. But yeah, I don't know. Me and my brother were talking about this today. He's like, why is it a 5 year gap? Like, who does that help? And I'm like, and he literally was like, why didn't they just make it a 1 year gap from when the two movies came out? And I was just like,
I mean, it's a 5 year gap to show like a significant passage of time, but not long enough to like offset too much, I guess.
yeah, like
But
I get it. I don't know, but I don't know. I guess when I thought, I was like, 1 year I think would have been enough too.
like
But
I guess the idea is that any time before 5 years isn't enough time to feel completely hopeless.
that's fair.
Yeah. Like
That's
once you
fair.
hit
Yeah,
5 years, like it's been like half a decade. Like there's no going
like
back now. Like it's
like you have to move on with your life now. Like
yeah,
there's no. Yeah, because after like it's one thing after 1 year, but after 5 years, yeah, you got to move on.
yeah. Um, yeah, I could easily see them at some point doing a Professor Hulk, especially if Mark Ruffalo wants to do it. A Professor Hulk movie in there somewhere, even after. I don't care. Uh, and Namor is apparently rumored to be in Doctor Strange 2
Ooh.
or something because I think Kevin Feige said that there's going to be some new character that we're not going to expect in Doctor Strange 2, which could
Okay.
easily be Namor, even though we are expecting it. We whatever. um,
We're expecting it because we're not expecting
yes, sure.
it.
But yeah, Namor is always it's definitely a character like I don't really know much about, but I'm sure he'd make an interesting movie hero villain person. I don't know. So,
Individual. Yeah, I think they'll do it well. The
yeah.
submarine, the submariners they call them. But
Hmm.
I, yeah, I don't know. I don't think anything about them. Like I thought about it, I was like, I
He
got
was
nothing.
he was the first comic book character who ever flew.
Flying?
Yeah, he technically Superman didn't fly until 1942. Namor in his first
Uh,
comic released a couple of months before that. Like
uh,
he has these little like
well,
boots that like with little wings on them you can fly around.
okay, cool. Yeah, because Superman would just jump really high for the
Yeah.
longest time. That's right. I love comic books.
uh, uh, so yeah, there's even more stuff here, but I'm just gonna do one more major thing to talk about. Um, Christian Bale is in talks to be in Thor: Love and Thunder.
What?
Yep. I don't know who he's gonna play. I kind of hope it's
What?
Beta Ray Bill, but I don't know.
I have no idea what that even means. What would he even do? I have no
I don't know.
idea.
I said Beta Ray Bill, I think, is a character that needs to be in the movie. He's that weird
Ooh.
horse Thor guy. You know what I'm talking about?
Okay, yeah, I've heard. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
This is gonna be
His
interesting.
face was like in a sculpture somewhere in Thor Ragnarok. So like he's already canon to
Ooh.
this world. So like him,
Okay.
yeah.
So it,
I
it
think it's
very
very
much could
possible
happen.
yeah.
Okay. This is good. This is good. This is interesting,
Hmm.
actually. Yeah, this is kind of cool. See, I want this movie now.
I do too. We have to wait till
I
2021.
would- I know it's a whole year, and I'm like, and I feel bad because everyone's like, oh, but Black Widow this year, and I'm like,
Eh.
yeah, but
And
like,
Eternals. Eh.
yeah, exactly. Like, well, Eternals, I'm like, I don't even know why. I don't even like. Yes, this is due to my ignorance with the Eternals, but I don't even know what I should be excited for.
Yeah. And like
So like,
WandaVision also was bumped up to this year, so we got WandaVision and the Falcon Winter Soldier show up this year. So
okay, that's cool.
we got
Okay,
some Marvel stuff to look forward to, but it's not
but it's not the
Thor or
same.
Spider
There's
Man or Doctor Strange.
exactly. It's not anything
2021 is
top.
the next big year for Marvel.
Yeah, that's what there's no top shelf stuff. With granted, they just made the biggest movie ever, so like I can't be mad that
Yeah,
they're taking like 1 year off from not even like just from stuff, just from being A to tier.
yeah,
So
exactly.
like I gotta chill, but
Uh-huh.
like also it's like why though?
Yeah.
I want it now though. So we will. But it's okay. I will wait. And there's other things to look forward to,
Yeah.
like Star Wars and
New Mutants is apparently still happening. So,
oh, okay. There it is.
coming out in
There's something.
April 3rd, I think. So, yeah,
Okay. There's something I might look at or,
maybe.
might not.
Yeah.
But
Still haven't seen Dark Phoenix,
mm,
so one character.
oh goodness
Probably
gracious.
gonna be better with Dark Phoenix. Not a, not a high bar.
I want to say the bar is not exactly, you know. Yeah, they need to redo the X Men right, man. They
Like they they sooner than later, like 2022, I think is when they should start like doing stuff with them. At least putting them in other movies somewhere.
yeah,
Like
like the
Deadpool
Phantom.
3 is apparently still happening, and that's gonna be
Yeah.
2022. So like have Wolverine in there somewhere. Like
Oh yeah.
um,
Or like you could have a scene at the end where he's like Deadpool's in a jam. He's like, "There's no way I'm gonna get out of this," and he's like, "Maybe we can get out of this together." And it's like,
so
"Oh,
Bud,
Hugh
Bud,
Jackman!"
it's just is Hugh Jackman. Like not even Wolverine, just is Hugh Jackman.
Oh my God, it's Wolverine. Nah, just Hugh Jackman. Oh, that's even better. Oh my God, something like
That'd be
that would
great. That would
be
be perfect, actually.
the theater would cheer. Oh man.
Um, uh, so okay, so in other nerd news, just a couple of short little topics, real quick. You know the movie Cats?
Oh, are we doing this?
Hang on. So it's apparently I don't remember who decided the movie needed to exist. Whoever was dumb enough to decide that movie needed to
There
exist.
were so many famous people in it, though.
I know Idris
So
Elba
many.
is in this movie. Like, what are
They
you
got
doing?
everywhere. They got Taylor Swift. They got everybody in this movie. I'm just like, why
Jason
though?
Derulo? Like, what are you? What are
There's
these
like
things?
Jennifer Hudson's in this movie. Like, there's so many people in this movie.
Rebel Wilson, yeah, you're in this movie. Like,
Yes,
I get it. Like,
but
you're.
like,
This is your era. Like, this is your area of movies. I get it.
right, but like,
Idris
I mean,
Elba, what are you doing?
doing like, there's literally, oh my gosh, like it's hilarious. Oh,
Anyway, whoever was
oh
dumb enough
man.
to decide this movie needed to exist, they heard your criticism that the people looked weird and dumb. Sorry, the cats looked weird and dumb. They heard your cries, literal cries, because of how horrifying they are. And apparently, they said that they are planning a re-release with better visuals down the line.
Okay.
You can't just patch a movie.
Yeah.
You can't just have a system update and be like, "Hey, it's better now." It's like
Especially,
you can't do it.
especially a movie nobody. Well, then again, tell that to Sonic. But then again,
But at
but
least
then
that
again,
didn't actually come out. Like that was
that's true. That's true. That hasn't come out yet. But still, like my thing is, like it's not like okay. Who asked? I remember like the first I saw this trailer in theaters, and literally the guy in front of me was literally like, "Bro, what?" like
what is
everyone,
this?
like, who asked for this, man? Like, what is
There
going
were several
on?
times when like people move their head, or sorry, cats move their heads, and like the person face doesn't move with them, and it's just
Right?
stuck. They're like, "Oh, it's creepy. What are you doing?"
Very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. It's just the whole thing's uncomfortable. Like I'm like, no, I haven't seen it because I like
No,
myself. So like,
like Cats the musical is already bonkers. You can't. You're not supposed to adapt that to film. Like it's
like what am I looking? It's just
uh,
oh man. So how long has this been out?
it came out the same day as Star Wars.
Of course it did. All right, let's see how we're looking. Okay, Rotten Tomatoes, 21%.
It's
Nice.
expected to lose $100 million.
Wait, what was the budget of?
I think the budget was $100 million, but like
I'm also the
advertisement,
budget was the budget's 95 billion on here. So if
okay.
you lose that money, I mean somebody's in the red.
Like generally speaking, your budget you double that, and that's your profit.
Yes.
So they need to make at least 200 mil in order to break even.
Nope.
So they're not. I
Nope.
don't even think they broke it
Nope.
100 mil yet. Like
No.
they're not getting there.
Because nobody, because literally nobody wanted this movie. Like I haven't heard a single person say anything about this movie that wasn't a meme
Yeah,
at all.
I've heard
Like
people say that
literally.
like you need to see it only if you're high. Like if you're high, you'll enjoy it, or you'll get at least something out of it. Like it's
Like no, this thing is wild. On Instagram I saw someone who like had a description of how crazy this movie is. They're like,
mm,
literally, this movie made no sense. This
yep,
movie hurt my soul. They're like explaining the plot. It's like,
uh,
which by the way makes no sense. And then like everyone looks creepy and why did they do
every
this?
single song is only in the movie just to introduce one character, and then they don't show up again. Like what is
Yeah, yeah. James Gordon's in this, dude. They got
why?
everybody in this movie.
Why? Again, James
This
Corden's never been in a good movie, but like
But like still, he has enough like notoriety
yeah.
to like you recognize that name. Like,
Mm.
come on, man. Like I've seen enough cab karaoke's with you to know that
Into
you
the
can
Woods
do
was
better.
fine. Into the Woods was good enough. You should have stopped there.
Yeah, you know. Oh man, like what do you? I think people just thought, oh, Cats is a famous musical. Well, I'll make a movie out of it. It'll be good. And I'm like, now what is Cats the musical like famous for? I think
Being
that's the
weird
question.
is famous for
That's
being weird. That's
that's
what
what
it's
I
for.
was thinking. Oh man, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, isn't this like wow?
What?
Some of these audience reviews are hilarious. Oh man. Okay. Some of these people put 5 stars. I'm like, come on, y'all. Yeah, I know y'all lying.
Don't try to play like
Oh my
what
god.
are you
Come on.
doing?
Oh, there's a 1 star.
For the movie?
The person literally put, they say curiosity killed the cat. Why couldn't they just kill this movie instead? Oh man. Some of these are just brutal.
Hmm.
Oh, ooh, ooh, ooh boy. Oh, I can't say that one on the air. Oh, oh, that. Okay, some of these are okay. There's a lot more 5 stars than I'm saying. Which, oh, there, here. Okay, never mind. Wow, this was a lot worse than I thought. Trust me. If you think it's bad, you're not
What's
ready.
the audience score?
The audience score is. I don't think it's on here. Hold on. It says 29% liked this movie from Google users.
Okay.
Net Metacritic to 32%, IMDb 2.8 out of 10.
Ooh,
Pretty much,
that's good.
it
That's
failed. It got a
yeah,
30. I'm gonna say that's being nice. 30 out of 100,
yeah,
all things
yeah.
considered. So like, you didn't do it for anybody really.
No,
So
not
there's
at all.
that. But you know,
Okay,
it's
whatever. Just, I hope maybe when they patch it and release it, a couple months down the line, it'll be, it won't come out the same day as the biggest release in the year and actually be good. I don't know, maybe it won't, but there's a chance.
it won't. It won't. Second biggest release, by the way. But
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
true.
yeah, it's okay. It's
Actually,
okay.
maybe third, fourth, maybe if it doesn't even pass
Fourth
Cap.
too.
No, hang on, because I completely forgot that Disney had $7.5 billion movies last year.
Yeah.
Eight, eight,
Well,
eight if you count Spider Man. So I said 7.5.
are you? Wait, really?
Yep, yep.
Wait, hold on. Wait, can we do this for a second?
Captain Marvel,
Oh,
in
that's
game,
right.
in game.
Oh my god.
What's it
Right.
called? Uh,
Toy Story.
Aladdin,
Oh yeah, Aladdin. Oh, that's
Lion
right. They
King,
had
Spider Man,
those both
Toy
made a
Story,
billion.
Frozen,
Are you see, dude? How is this? This is
and an
unfair.
eight if you count Rise of Skywalker, but you got to break a billion in a couple weeks. Like it's
Right, but it'll be there. But like, dude, that's unfair.
eight, eight if you count
Eight
Spider Man. A
billion-dollar
billion.
movies. Eight. That's like, that's so unfair.
Mm-hmm.
Like, some people will be lucky to get one.
Yeah,
Eight a year, and this was like that. There was a lot going on this year, but still, like, oh my gosh. Literally, one of them basically made 3 billion
yeah,
almost.
basically.
So like, really, you can make an argument for like 11 or at least 10. Like,
Yeah.
probably like with a rounding with other movies, you
Mm-hmm.
made like 11 to
Spider Man
12.
made like 1.3. Captain Marvel made
Exactly.
1.1. Lion King made 1.5. Like
See,
it adds up.
it's like 13,
Frozen
maybe
2 it did
14.
1.3 and still counting. Like it's
Oh
yeah,
my god. Have you seen Frozen 2?
it's good. I like it.
Okay, I
Yeah.
need to see that.
Overall, it's probably the first one's probably a better movie, but I like this one better.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. One more last little bit of news. So Sony has been pretty dark about everything happening with the PS5. Like they announced it on Twitter back in October for some reason, and then have said nothing about it since. So at CES yesterday, I think, based on the time of this recording, um, they finally said, tune into our press conference to get the first new information on the PS5. I was like, okay,
Okay,
cool.
bet.
Well, turns out the only information they gave us was what the logo would look like. Do you have a PS4 like game box with you nearby?
I, uh,
If you don't, it's fine. I'm just
probably not. But like the
it's
logo,
literally the same font. PS5. They just took out the
that's
four and added the five. That's it.
how is there a reveal for that? That would you knew that going in.
It's the same as the PS4 font, the same as the
Same as the
PS3 font.
PS3. It's been the same every time. Like you could maybe argue maybe the first one didn't, but like
PS2 had some color to it, but it was the same basic idea. Like it was same
right?
same it was the same Spider-Man 3 font. Like it's
Yeah, like very much. Come on, man.
like it's it, it's one thing to have your console name already be predictable because PS1, 2, 3, 4. Like obviously
Right.
next one would be PlayStation 5, but like you I get it. It's worked for you this whole time. And the logo doesn't really matter at the end of the day, but like don't I feel like you could have not had the exact same font in the exact same way. Like it just with a new number. It's I don't I
Why?
don't like it.
I I
like
don't get it.
Microsoft had their big reveal for the Xbox One, whatever it was called, Xbox Series X or just Xbox, whatever they're gonna call it, their new Xbox. Um, they at least showed the thing and like had a big grand reveal for it. You've had two chances to reveal your system, and both times you're just like, oh yeah, it exists. Here's a logo. It's like, oh, okay, sure. You don't
Like,
have anything else, not even like gameplay or like a render or what
no. Or
they might
like
look. No,
show us the logo. Like the logo. There is no logo. It's just letters. There's no
it's
logo.
just P. Like
You know,
you can literally make it in Photoshop by taking the P, flipping it upside down, adding a line to it. There's your five.
boom. That's what I'm saying. Like
And
it's
like,
already done. You
yep,
already know exactly what it's gonna look like because it's
exactly.
locked.
You, as soon as the PS4 came out, you knew what this thing would look like. Like,
Exactly.
because the PS4 logo is the same as the PS3. It's like I wonder what the PS5 logo is going to. And
Like
you
it's
know,
not
there was some focus group where like they sat down for hours discussing what this new logo would look like. There were like countless numbers of conference meetings discussing, okay, what
they
is the
did
new logo going to look like?
people did paperwork on this. Like this happened for so long.
They milled
Literally just
over
for like
probably like at least 20 different designs. You're like,
hmm
I like this one the best. It's classic. I was like, okay.
like
Not even a different shade of white, not even like off gray and okay.
just maybe just a five this time. No, no. Like we're just gonna if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I
Which I
personally
admit,
I get it.
I
Yeah,
like
I get
I
it.
like the simplicity. We're not doing all this. Xbox, Xbox Series One, Series.
Series X, Series
I don't know, some stupid like just adding words to
random
sound
words
cool.
after random
Yes,
numbers.
yes. Like they're just literally like, hey, it's the PlayStation 5.
Yeah, I
No
personally
gimmicks,
have
no
always
games.
yeah, I personally have always been a huge fan of the original PlayStation logo, where like the P and like the
hmm
S is kind of like in the P.
Yeah,
That's a cool logo.
that is a cool logo. But see, then it gets complicated with
I
numbers and
think
all
just
the
have
stuff.
P and then have the two next to it, and then like
I,
no, okay,
you know, I
whatever.
Sony obviously likes their formula, so I don't know if they're
Like we
gonna
wouldn't
change it
we
now,
wouldn't even be this mad if they didn't hype it up as something new. It's just
right?
the same logo.
I don't
New.
know. I mean, I'm sure someone out there is like, "Oh, this is awesome!" Like, doesn't know, but most of us are not crazy, so we get it. But mm,
I don't know.
you gotta get some press. Maybe it's on. Maybe it's just a ploy. Like, get good
Yeah,
press about it. Even if it's bad press, it's still
bad
press.
press is
Like,
still press. I get it. I know
exactly.
the mantra, but like it's
You
still
know,
annoying. I hope this isn't a sign of things to come with a PS3. Sony got very arrogant and like they lost for the majority of that generation. I hope that's not a thing where like, oh, this is just them being arrogant again. Like we're Sony, we can announce literally anything, and you guys are gonna go crazy for it, right? Like I hope that's not.
please no.
I hope don't be that. Don't have that mindset this entire generation.
Mm-mm. No, that would not be great.
Yeah, I think they're gonna have like a bigger reveal. Like I know for the PS4 they had it in February of 2013, so hopefully next month they'll actually have a actual reveal for this thing. You know, third chance is the charm, I guess. you know,
We'll see.
so yeah. Is there anything else from this past month? I guess you want to talk about?
Not really. It was about catching up and pretty much it. I'm excited to get into Star Wars more later, but for now, we'll keep going.
Yeah. Okay. And with that, we will see you all next time.
Take care, guys.